Okay, you guys. So recently I lost a lot of steam on this Temu affiliate marketing project. It's not going exactly the way that I want it to right now, and I'm not really driving towards the results that I'd like to eventually see and be able to prove. And it got me thinking about a psychological graph that I saw either on X or Instagram one day, and it's basically called the Valley of Despair graph. I think that's the name of it. Don't quote me on that, but anyways, here it is on screen. It's got confidence on the vertical side, it's got competence on the bottom side here horizontally. And basically, it's about kind of starting any new skill or endeavor. And it's showcasing here how you start off with a lot of optimism and energy, and you go way up, with how you feel about things, and then eventually you start to realize, oh man, there's a lot of weird realities here that I wasn't quite ready for, and then fear starts to kind of settle in a little bit. And you start to realize how much work you actually have to do to get good at it, what it is that you want to do. And then you kind of enter into this valley of despair, where this is where typically a lot of people give up and the project stops there and nothing else happens, and you maybe move on to something new, and this whole process repeats. But for those that don't, eventually determination makes its way all the way up to success again, where you're feeling fantastic and, on top of the world. So that's kind of where I'm at right now, is this valley of despair, right? And I started thinking about it a little bit more, and I was like, well, why do I feel that way about this project? And eventually I just arrived on the fact that, there's something wrong with this system or assembly line that I'm using here. Because I followed everything to a T, I followed the tutorial, I got it all set up, I did a website, I made some articles, I figured out how to gather it all, put it all together, etc., blah, blah, blah. But something just still felt off. And I think it was just the general fact that my niche didn't quite match up with the traffic sources that I was directed towards in order to get, in front of my primary audience to then possibly make some sort of sales or something like that. Well, sales is what I'm after. So yeah, something like that. Anyways, I started to take a look at it and I realized, I don't think that people that are looking for cosmetics or anything like that are going to be looking on this website called SlideShare, and they're not also probably going to be on Medium for a lot of things. And I kind of proved that to myself by trying to search around on there first and going, hey, is there any of this content on here? I know they have large user bases, maybe it is. Turns out, not really so much. So what I decided to do to try to fix the system and hopefully, kickstart my interest back up in this thing so I can begin to proof out my results was I went over to Grok and it was like, hey, this thing just got updated. Let's begin to ask it some questions. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually really break down to it what my current system is and what I'm trying to do. And let's see what kind of results it can get for me. And the results were crazy, you guys. Honestly, if you're not using AI these days to try to get your work done or help you along the way, then you're just really going to be in a deficit and you're going to be struggling a lot, because this thing can do a whole lot of heavy lifting for you in terms of figuring out a system that you're trying to make work and make it super optimal and as good as it can be. And I think that it just comes down to you needing to do that multiple times. I think that's primarily what AI is for, is hey, you have access to all this information and you can really easily go off and source a whole bunch of things for me. Here's my whole system, or here's what I'm thinking, here's my rough draft. Take this and make it better. I think that's the number one thing it's just the best at, So long story short, I gave this thing a lot of prompts. I was like, hey, this is what I'm doing. Here are the sites that I'm currently using. Can you find better ones for me? I went through and I typed this whole gigantic essay, which we're kind of looking at right here, of what I'm doing, the niche I'm in, the topics I'm covering, how I insert it into WordPress, how I have to make it into PDFs to put it on other websites, how I have to design it, the work it takes, how long it takes, how can we cut this down, are there any sort of automation processes, blah, 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 blah. I really just thoroughly went in there and asked it a whole bunch of different stuff, and the results are fantastic, honestly. It gave me a full breakdown on everything that was causing me hangups. It even in a lot of cases showed me how much time I would save by using some of the processes that it recommended. And really, it just gave me a whole new game plan, and it pointed me in a better direction for gaining free traffic from my target audience. And basically, it just ended up recommending for me Pinterest and Tumblr. But even more than that, it recommended ways to write and posting schedule, and it factored it into how much time I have available per week and all this different stuff. And I spent probably a good 2 hours or so, you guys, like asking this thing specific questions over and over as it kept spitting out more results, because I'd be thinking, oh, well, all right, you said all this, but what about this part? And then it would just continue to fill me in more and more and more. So I think that honestly, using AI is a great way to get yourself out of the valley of despair. If you're starting a project, or maybe you're trying to do this affiliate marketing thing like I am, or something similar, honestly, take whatever is bothering you about what you don't like that's going on in your project, or maybe that's already going right and could go better, put it in there and ask it questions. Talk to it as if you would talk to, I don't know, a professional who's already doing all this stuff at a super high level. It's going to give you some great answers, and I can't recommend it enough. So yeah, with that being said, I have a whole new game plan on this thing. There's going to be some more videos coming on that in better detail than me just talking about it right now. And yeah, let me know what your experiences are with using Grok 3 if you've tried it. How do you like it? What more would you want to see out of it? Do you have any tips for me? Any sort of Easter eggs or something like that maybe I don't know about? Yeah, definitely check that out. I recommend this as a great way to kickstart your project back up again if you weren't super stoked on it before. That's all I got for you guys today. Yeah, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. All right, see you guys next time.